Is it SuperTack or SuperCrap? Let's find out in this video. Well, you see, I followed all the instruction on how it's supposed to be. You wash it, you clean it and everything. And the corners are curling up. So it seems to be crap. Greetings everyone, Surgical here. You know that I design 3D terrain for tabletop gaming. And what tabletop gaming is, it's basically, think of the board games like Clues. So you have the board game, and it's flat and it's printed. So you have different rooms and you have corridors and things like that. So you play on that flat surface. Now with 3D printing, you can add dimension to that experience. So each rooms in Clues will have a physicality to it. As another example, aside from Clues, I play a game that's called Zombicide. They use tiles like this, printed, like Clues is printed, and your character just walk on the roads here, and there's more than one tiles, so every scenarios have, you can do a combination of tiles. They print on both sides, and it's great, it's fun. It's like if Clues had different boards. I create terrain that is in 3D. Now there's many things pitfalls in 3D printing that the modern printers have resolved in most cases. But printing is finicky. Sometimes in different season I print differently. So in the summer I print a certain way with the settings of the printer, and in the winter I print differently. And when it's the rainy season and all that stuff, a draft, the temperature change, all that affects. So you have two types of printer. You have open printers and you have closed printers that are in an enclosure. I have an A1 that is an open, and I also have an X1C that's an enclosed printer. One of the problems in 3D printing is that the corners sometimes can lift and it's not flat. So there's a couple different solutions for that. One of them is increasing the temperature. One of them is putting brims, so it's a little thin layer around. And another one is putting mouse ears. And this is what the typical thing I print for the game. So the piece, like the clue character, the little piece goes in there and you play on it and you roll the dice and all that stuff. There's even cars. I didn't design or 3D printed that car, but you know, it's in scale. This kind of toy cars is in scale with a miniature. Now obviously this one is finished and printed and colored. I painted it and did that effect that looks realistic, like you see when it's printed on a cardboard. But the thing is, it's easier to print something like this because there's no curling. The corners are usually flat after you finish printing. But when you print something like this, which the road goes on top there, then because of the temperature of the head printing there and the concentration of plastic, the corners, they kind of curl up. So now enters the different plates. With the X1C, this is the plate that came with it. But the funny thing is, this is supposed to work on the X1C, but it fails for me. Maybe the cooling fan works so well in the X1C, and I do have the top cover of the printer off. And I test printed, as you can see in the video, with the door and the top off. The test strip that it prints at the base of the plate had no issues whatsoever. It passed the LiDAR test and everything. Now it went to start printing, and you can see some filament has been running loose there. I had no issues with that print. I printed it many times with the different surfaces. I have working doors. I'll show you the video later on that one. Like the filaments are fresh. They're brand new filament, the same filament for both machines. And the plates have been cleaned every single time before, like I've always done before, and has no issues. I just want to make sure that you know that every single time that I did those tests, everything was done level with each of them. So all the other video clips that you see, I'm not going to be repeating every single step that I've done because I'm just saying it now. Those next few seconds, it's going to be a bit boring, I guess, because I'm waiting for the print to fail. The first layer, it's usually print at a slower speed anyway, but as you can see now, it's starting to fail. And the second section of that door is a total disaster, and the first one is still sticking. Hadn't had a chance to lift up and to show that it's lifting. but I guess from the tone and what I'm saying, you're gonna guess that it's gonna fall apart. And this is normal speed. I've printed always at that speed. I think it's the standard speed those printer prints at. I think it's 250. I'm not sure, but there you go. Failed. Why? I don't know. X1C PI plate failed, but the same plate, as you can see here on the A1, it's working perfectly. There's no support anywhere. The corners didn't peel off, nothing whatsoever. No curling up, and they shouldn't be curling up at a piece that small. X1C SuperTack plate, it's passing the initial test with the first strip there. It's just doing its thing. It's making sure with the LiDAR that it printed perfectly. And actually, this seems to be printing even better than all the time. I always have some loose greeblies in the initial test there, but the rest of the print usually don't fail. So now it's printing on the SuperTack. It's starting in the one section. I don't know why I decided to do a brim on this. I don't have brim selected. Sometimes it automatically with the X1C put brims when it thinks it's going to be at risk at printing. And now that the brim is done, it goes and makes its little check and clean the nozzle, and it's going to go back. So it's going fine so far. Oh, now you see, there's a little bit of a loose strand there, but sometimes those strands happens, but the rest of the print prints with no issues. Unfortunately, it's gonna fail. The settings, automatic settings that it calls for, so it shouldn't fail. I printed that as well with testing with warmer print bed, and I went, I think, up to 75, and I tried also a 35, and they all failed. It worked a little better and went further down the road with the printing on the A1, but you see it's starting to curl. It shouldn't be curling in small pieces like that at all. And it's a different room than the other room. There's less of a draft and humidity in this one, but it still shouldn't fail. But there's so many outside environment things that can affect the print that you can't really control. In perfect environment, yeah, I'm sure this plate works with no problem. But for me, it failed. And if anybody knows a solution or a workaround, or maybe found out they had the same issue but they found a solution for it, please put it in the comments, because it's not going to only help me, but it's going to be helping people who are watching this video. Because if you're watching this video, that means either you don't have it and you want to try it, or you have it and you have issues and you're trying to figure out if your issues are the same as mine. I paid for this. I bought 2 of them. I was really, really hoping this would work. So this goes in here. It's like that. And see, there's plastic here. Not going through. I just cut the clear plastic and I slide it down that slit here. But here's the hinge. There's 2 kind of hinge, and the door locks like that. You see, you can't open it, and like that opens. The miniature goes in here and fights zombies. There's even the switch card goes there. So there's 2 levels to the game. You can go in the sewage and subterranean level, or you can play on the top level. And that's a board game, a tabletop board game. Like, subscribe, write a comment, buy my terrain, or be eaten by zombies. Bye, until next time.